Hello, and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I'm Merav Yuravlivker, co-founder and chief learning officer of Data Society Group. And today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Lori Sherer, who has been a partner at Bain Company for over a decade. Beyond that, she's also the chairwoman of Women in Data Science, a nonprofit that seeks to elevate and inspire women to excel in the field of data science and AI, which was founded at Stanford University. Welcome, Lori.
Thank you, Merav. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, pleasure to have you. Let's start out with how you got here. What have been some of the highlights of your career that have gotten you to where you are today?
Oh, wow. I started in the field of data science before there was such a field of data science. I've been at this for some 30 years of my career. I started working in a marketing research practice, which excelled at quantitative methods. So back in the day, 30 years ago, big data was an observation set of like 4,000 respondents to a survey. uh, and in that world, we had folks like myself who understood marketing and customer insights, and we were backed up by quantitative people who built models, pricing optimization models, segmentation models, on the backs of the data we collected through surveys. And survey research, as you probably know, you have to be brutally efficient in how you collect that data because it's very expensive to collect data. That whole field morphed into what we came to be known as sort of precision marketing, where we were able to take very large data sets, transaction data, customer service, call log data, et cetera, and applying the same sort of quantitative techniques, tease out the insights of what consumers wanted and be able to segment consumers into different groups. I did that on a consulting basis for the first sort of 10 years of my career. And then I was really, really lucky. A colleague of mine had gone to FICO, which used to be called Fair Isaac, the company that invented the credit score. And he called me up and he said, "You can't believe it. This company just has dozens and dozens and dozens of the people that we have valued so highly in our prior life, people with operations research backgrounds, people with statistics backgrounds, and so on." They weren't called data scientists back then. They were analysts and folks that did machine learning and quantitative techniques. I was lucky enough to land a job there working with my executive director at Women in Data Science, a woman named Chisu Lyons, who ran their research and development team. And she had been working for a couple of years with the data set that they had access to through a credit research partnership. And she had invented an optimization technology, which at least in the lab looked like it was going to create a 15% profit improvement for the credit card companies. So I went there to be sort of the business sponsor of the go-to-market. And together, we brought that innovation to market and created a $100 million recurring revenue stream out of it. So that was just the
Incredible.
most exciting 5 years of my career, launching a new offering that had such incredible impact on the credit card companies, and to do it with a woman who was really amazingly talented. We were a great, great team who brought that to market. I was then recruited by a company called Risk Management Solutions, and they are sort of the FICO of the insurance industry. They invented catastrophe risk modeling for the insurance industry. And I went there initially as head of strategy because they were hoping to find some blockbuster innovations like the one I had launched at FICO. We started a company there too, in partnership with the Rand Corporation, started a partnership with them to figure out if we could apply catastrophe risk modeling techniques to liability catastrophe. So asbestos in this country, as you probably have seen the billboards and the plaintiffs' sort of complaints of how asbestos has created a lot of damage to human people. It was an $80 billion disaster for the insurance industry. And we wanted to see if we could find ways to apply analytics to figuring out, seeing around the corner, what are the next things like BPA and plastics and such like that could cause the same kind of damage, and we could get out in front of it. So that was very exciting to launch that company. And along the way, I got recruited by McKinsey & Co. to come and be part of the startup of their advanced analytics practice in 2009, after the McKinsey Global Institute published their report on big data, which was wildly successful and created a lot of demand for them. I was there for 3 years and had the opportunity there to do a startup. Ingenuity is the insurance solution in the McKinsey solution portfolio. And I worked with a really wonderful team of people to launch that offering. Then my very first mentor in business from my market research days had gone to Bain Company, and he called me up and said, "We see what you're doing over there. We think we really have a kernel of that capability here that we want to really scale and grow. And could you come here and help us do that?" So without hesitation, I rejoined my favorite mentor in business at Bain, and it's been just such a happy and wonderful career here, launching the advanced analytics practice, and more recently being part of our partnership with OpenAI and our leading position in generative AI. I focus specifically now in healthcare, and it's been really exciting to see how our clients are applying AI, for the betterment of patients around the world. So it's been a very, very exciting career. And along the way, I became affiliated with this group at Stanford, and a really wonderful professor named Margot Gerritsen, who really had a passion for promoting women in tech and in data science specifically. And she founded Women in Data Science, and I was lucky to be on the ground floor of that. So when she took that organization private and needed to stand up an advisory board or an advisory committee, she asked me to chair it. And it's just been a wonderful, wonderful organization to be affiliated with.
It's an amazing career, and it sounds like you've been on the forefront of a lot of different evolutions that have happened in this industry over the past 20 plus years. And so your experience is so interesting to hear about, and just how you've continued to grow and progress with the industry. I'm curious about how your experience with startups has shaped your approach as an executive. What are some of the differences that you noticed, or some of the surprises that you experienced when running a startup versus being part of some of these larger organizations?
Yeah, well, I have sort of had the interesting opportunity to be an entrepreneur as opposed to an entrepreneur with VC funding and, kind of scraping by in the garage, trying to get something off the ground. I've had the pleasure of being an entrepreneur, which is a very different experience, working for established companies that have an aspiration to innovate, or have an idea or an innovation that they want to try to bring to market. And I have really just been a bit of an innovation junkie. I just really love the whole challenge of working with the data science team. They have a kernel and an idea. They test it in the lab. It looks like it's going to have wonderful impact and potential. But then they need to get that last mile of from the invention to product market fit, and a customer who has a need and a problem that these solutions can solve. So I've been really lucky to be part of that product market fit exploration, have stood up as part of these launching these new things, have stood up, lightning customers who try it for us and give us the results and help us understand exactly how it does create value, and also helping us understand what are the business process changes that need to be made in order to absorb the innovation. So it's just been really exciting to be on the customer-led side of data and analytic innovation, and having had that experience multiple times over. I like to think of myself as kind of a data monetization expert, that last mile of understanding how it creates value and how it needs to be implemented in the organization is a pattern recognition that is so valuable now when we're going through this massive, massive wave of transformation with generative AI. It really isn't just about the technology. It's very much about changing people's roles, changing the value of the human in the loop in many cases, upskilling, retraining, redeveloping business process. It's never been more important than it is now to really understand the business implications of innovation. So that's been really exciting to have been on the forefront of that many times over and to be at the forefront of it right now.
I love it. Lori, thank you so much for joining us today. Please visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews and follow Lori Sherer along on LinkedIn to see how her career will continue to progress. Thank you again.
Thank you, Merav. It's been a real pleasure. I really appreciate the opportunity.